Bob Dylan's genius has always been a shape-shifting force, eluding easy categorization or definition. For over 6 decades, he has been at the vanguard of cultural revolutions, consistently ahead of his time, while paradoxically embodying timelessness. As both poet and provocateur, Dylan has left his fingerprints on music, literature, and the very fabric of modern creativity.
How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man?
His works are as universal as they are personal, inspiring countless artists across genres to reinterpret his songs, creating a tapestry of covers that spans more than 1,500 official versions. For many, the act of covering Dylan is not merely an artistic exercise, but an attempt to channel the essence of a figure whose influence is woven into the DNA of modern music.
A bullet from the back of a bush took Medgar Evers' blood.
For Dylan himself, however, only a select few have captured the spirit of his songs in ways that resonate deeply with him. His preferences, unsurprisingly, are as iconoclastic as the man himself. While legions of artists have brought their own interpretations to his songs, each with varying degrees of reverence, innovation, or audacity, Dylan's admiration is reserved for a handful of covers that, in his view, got it right. These interpretations, according to Dylan, transcend mere homage, taking his songs to places even he hadn't imagined.
Feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door.
Johnny Rivers' cover of Positively 4th Street might come as a surprise to those expecting Dylan's preferences to lean towards high-profile collaborations or boundary-pushing reimaginings. Instead, Dylan's appreciation for Rivers' 1968 rendition lies in something much simpler, a shared sensibility. Writing in his memoir, Chronicles Volume 1, Dylan singles out Rivers' version as his favorite cover of all time. "Of all the versions of my recorded songs," he reflects, "the Johnny Rivers one was my favorite. It was obvious that we were from the same side of town, had been read the same citations, came from the same musical family, and were cut from the same cloth." What makes this admission particularly striking is the uncharacteristic generosity of Dylan's praise. For a man often regarded as elusive, if not downright cagey, when discussing others' interpretations of his work, Dylan's words about Rivers feel almost unguarded. He goes further still, admitting, "Most of the cover versions of my songs seem to take them out into left field somewhere, but Rivers' version had the mandate down. The attitude, the melodic sense to complete and surpass even the feeling that I had put into it." This acknowledgement, that someone else could surpass his own emotional delivery, speaks volumes about Dylan's respect for Rivers' artistry. It also underscores Dylan's belief in the intrinsic connection between performer and material. For Rivers, a man steeped in the same cultural and musical milieu as Dylan, the song became a natural extension of his own voice. Positively 4th Street is one of Dylan's sharpest compositions, a withering diatribe wrapped in deceptively lilting melodies. For many listeners, it's a masterclass in blending biting commentary with musical grace. Yet Rivers manages to amplify the song's emotional complexity, softening its venom just enough to let its poignancy shine through. In doing so, he brings a fresh perspective to a song often remembered for its acerbic wit. Dylan, ever the pragmatist when it comes to the interpretation of his work, seems to recognize and appreciate this nuance. If Johnny Rivers represents a kindred spirit, Jimi Hendrix stands as an entirely different proposition. Hendrix's blistering cover of All Along the Watchtower is not merely a reinterpretation, but a reinvention, transforming Dylan's stripped-down original into a tour de force of electric energy and innovation. Hendrix once remarked, "I have the feeling that Watchtower is a song I could have come up with, but I'm sure I would never have finished it." The humility of this statement is almost disarming, given that Hendrix's version is now so definitive that it has eclipsed Dylan's own recording in the public consciousness. For Dylan, Hendrix's take on Watchtower was nothing short of revelatory. In a 1995 interview, he recalled his reaction to hearing it for the first time.
I'm looking for somebody to sell my dog, collect my clip, buy my animal, and straighten out my bird.
"It overwhelmed me, really. He had such talent. He could find things inside a song and vigorously develop them. This ability to excavate new dimensions from Dylan's lyrics and melodies is what sets Hendrix apart. With his searing guitar work and vocal intensity, Hendrix captures not just the apocalyptic urgency of the song, but its underlying sense of existential dread and resilience. Dylan was so impressed by Hendrix's rendition that he reconfigured his own live performances of Watchtower to reflect Hendrix's arrangement. "I liked Jimi Hendrix's record of this," Dylan admitted, "and ever since he died, I've been doing it that way. Strange how when I sing it, I always feel it's a tribute to him in some kind of way." This sentiment is particularly poignant, given the tragic brevity of Hendrix's career. By incorporating elements of Hendrix's arrangement into his own performances, Dylan ensures that the guitarist's legacy lives on, intertwining their artistic paths in a way that feels both organic and intentional.
He understands your orphan with his gun.
And then there is Elvis Presley, the man Dylan once described as the deity supreme of rock and roll religion. Presley's 1966 cover of "Tomorrow Is a Long Time" holds a deeply personal significance for Dylan. Written during a period of romantic longing, the song had been passed around and performed by others, but never officially recorded by Dylan himself. When Presley brought his unmistakable voice to the song, it marked a moment of profound resonance for Dylan. Dylan has often spoken of the transformative impact of hearing Elvis for the first time. "When I first heard Elvis's voice, I just knew that I wasn't going to work for anybody, and nobody was going to be my boss," he once recalled. This sense of liberation, of breaking free from societal constraints, is central to both Dylan's and Presley's mythologies. To have the man who symbolized that freedom interpret one of his songs was, for Dylan, nothing short of monumental. "Elvis Presley recorded a song of mine," Dylan once said. "That's the one recording I treasure the most. It was called 'Tomorrow Is a Long Time.' I wrote it but never recorded it." Presley's rendition is a masterclass in restraint and emotional depth. Stripped of the bombast often associated with his performances, Presley delivers a hauntingly intimate version that captures the aching vulnerability at the heart of Dylan's lyrics. It's a performance that feels almost reverent, as though Presley recognized the weight of the material and chose to let it speak for itself.
Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew.
For Dylan, this was not merely a cover, but an affirmation of his own artistic vision, a reminder that his work could resonate even with the man who had once seemed larger than life. These three covers, by Rivers, Hendrix and Presley, offer a fascinating glimpse into Dylan's artistic psyche. They reveal a man who values authenticity and emotional truth above all else, who is less concerned with technical perfection or commercial success than with whether an artist has captured the essence of a song. For Dylan, a great cover is not about imitation but interpretation, about finding something new within the familiar and bringing it to life with sincerity and conviction. Dylan's choices also highlight the diversity of his influence, from the raw, grassroots connection he shares with Rivers to the boundary-pushing innovation of Hendrix and the transcendent universality embodied by Presley. These covers reflect the many facets of Dylan's own artistry. They remind us that his work, like the man himself, defies easy categorization. It is both deeply personal and profoundly universal, rooted in tradition yet constantly evolving. In celebrating these covers, Dylan offers a rare window into his own creative process and the qualities he values most in others. It is a testament to the enduring power of his music that it continues to inspire such a wide range of interpretations, and that even after all these years, Dylan remains as engaged and invested in the art of songwriting as ever. As he once said, "You'd have to be deaf not to concur."